Hi, I'm Dr. William Brundell, and I've been studying, practicing, and teaching organization development for over 20 years. A question I'm frequently asked by graduate students pertains to the types of careers they can attain after they earn a certificate or graduate degree in OD. I've never really been satisfied with the typical answers I've given to my students because they were based on my own experience as well as what I've always heard other professors say. With the right credentials, we said, a student can become an internal consultant, an external consultant, or simply apply the skills they learned to advance in their current career because change happens everywhere. So I thought about my own experience as an external and internal consultant and remembered significant variation in the types of OD projects and clients I took on. Over the years, I remember feeling that some engagements were better fits than others. But why was that? And how can a student who is interested in OD be more intentional about working toward a career that is not only a bump in salary, but is also meaningful and aligned with their natural talents? So one night I decided to step into the shoes of my students and run a little experiment by searching for OD careers. I was blown away by an entire universe of OD positions. How on earth is any student supposed to make sense of where they stand in the grand scheme of OD? So I imagined what would happen if someone created a meaningful, practical, evidence-based, and timely view of the OD career landscape, cutting through all of the complexity so that students could become more strategic about the courses and electives they take, the certifications they earn, the practicum opportunities they seek, the stretch assignments they take on the job, even practitioner interview assignments and the dissertation topics they research. With the right evidence, I could figure out a way that OD students might reverse engineer their ideal resume and gain the skills and experiences needed to acquire a job that suits their existing competencies and interests. The first step in this journey was to gain enough perspective from multiple sources so that I could begin to identify patterns that are essential to the OD career landscape. To develop a system like this, I engaged in a 2-year research study with the help of an amazing group of volunteers from universities around the world. My findings were eventually published in the OD Review. So let's talk big picture. It's no secret that the world yearns for positive change. Just look at the memes that flood social media. But what separates armchair change agents from practitioners who have mastered the art of organizational and societal transformation? For one, it takes some education, and our analysis discovered that there's no shortage, with over 144 OD and OD related education programs throughout the world. And according to analysis of over 750 positions and counting, representing both internal and external consulting positions, I discovered an incredible level of variation between titles, competencies, industries, skills, and approaches. In other words, not all OD jobs are created equally, but something very interesting happens when you have enough data and can take a step back to look at the big picture. You begin to appreciate distinct patterns in the OD career landscape. To be specific, 4 different features distinguish OD careers from each other, including the type of change outcomes a practitioner would find most meaningful, their preferred professional identity, the breadth and depth of tools they wish to utilize, and their general approach to stewarding change. These differing features of OD careers are especially important to aspiring practitioners who, according to our research, come from a diverse range of backgrounds and have an equally diverse range of professional interests. This is also important because not everyone wants to or has to master the entire spectrum of competencies that are said to be required by OD consultants. So with that said, let's simplify things with an overview of each of the 4 preferences measured in the most meaningful career assessment. First, outcomes refers to the type of change impact that you would most like your OD career to have. People who prefer organizational outcomes experience a greater sense of fulfillment by working on projects related with organizational change, typically in corporate settings, which includes the development of competitive strategies, employee engagement, business performance, agility, design, ethics, and even employee wellness and process efficiency. On the other hand, people who prefer societal outcomes experience greater fulfillment by improving organizations that work on societal issues. Satisfaction here is derived from working directly on societal change efforts, such as community development, social justice, environmental sustainability, income equality, establishing healthy food sources, and addressing unethical governments. Second, professional identity refers to the type of OD identity you are most interested in representing. Pure OD practitioners identify strictly as OD professionals, or organization development proper, and hold titles that relate to the formal discipline of OD, as it's been defined and studied by most university researchers and educators. People who gravitate toward a hybrid OD identity tend to feel more at home in career roles that are adjacent to or partially overlap the OD profession, marked by a preference for some but not all OD job characteristics. According to our research, OD is now diffused or merged into professions that include talent development, human resource development, management consulting, DE&I, and executive coaching. Third, mastery. This refers to the way your unique competency interests position you for an OD role. People who prefer a broad mastery may serve a wide range of organizational roles, as they have an ample number of OD frameworks, tools, and approaches in their tool belt. People who prefer a specialized mastery of OD tend to gravitate toward one or two specific approaches, such as appreciative inquiry, design thinking, or presencing, for example, and many with great success. Depending on a person's specific talents, they may be better positioned to pursue a specialized or broad career. Individuals may choose to grow from a specialized approach to a full spectrum approach of OD competencies eventually. Finally, approaches refers to the dominant type of change approach that's called for by certain employers and clients. People who prefer the classic approach are more likely to enjoy a step-by-step, scientific, and objective approach to change that engages in diagnosis, problem solving, and changing behaviors. This is also known as a diagnostic approach to OD, and it still has a very large following. On the other hand, people who prefer a more innovative approach are more likely to enjoy dialogic, subjective, and emergent approaches to change, which facilitate sense-making and the transformation of mindsets. The innovative approach includes both dialogic OD and newer conscious OD paradigms. Most change engagements utilize both classic and innovative approaches. However, one tends to be more dominant while the other is recessive. In other words, the dominant approach preference in any given job or system receives more attention and higher perceived value. Now, according to modern research on an ancient wisdom tradition called ikigai, careers that produce a profound sense of satisfaction and well-being, also known as professional callings, influences the type of change a person wishes to see in the world, represents the livelihood they wish to be associated with, draw directly upon unique talents, and include the types of personal interactions they most enjoy. By combining this research on meaningful work with research on the OD career landscape, the Most Meaningful Careers Assessment was born. By measuring your preferences on these 4 different characteristics, we could determine which of the 16 different career callings you resemble. So, since there are 4 key characteristics of OD positions: outcomes, identity, approach, and mastery, and they each have 2 different preferences, in total there are 16 different combinations, which I refer to as OD career calling preferences. All 16 are represented by actual jobs and consulting organizations that resemble these different combinations of features. As a result, your unique career calling reveals a lot about the types of actual jobs you're most likely to flourish in. Perhaps most importantly, it makes it much easier to clarify a career development journey that's not only practical, but also meaningful and economical. I decided to give each of these career callings a fun name because why not? You might just be a creative amplifier, or a humanity hawk, an agile accelerator, or a renaissance consultant, for instance. Here's how it works. Let's say your assessment determines that your strongest preferences are societal, hybrid, classic, and specialized. The report you'd receive by email would be customized and curated specifically for a humanity hawk. As you can see, part of the fun is discovering actual jobs that match your preference. Here are just a few examples. Now, let's see what your career calling would be if your preferences were the exact opposite of a humanity hawk. Let's say you scored organizational, pure, innovative, and broad. In this case, your career calling would lean toward a Renaissance consultant. Here too, there are specific jobs that relate to your preference. Only this time, you may notice that there tend to be more external consulting positions available than internal consulting positions. To discover your unique career calling, head over to the assessment page at opensourceod.com. Answer each question carefully, imagining your ideal job. When you press finish, you'll receive an email which holds the key to 2 personalized reports. Click on the link to view your most preferred career report. You can also see your competency report right inside of the email you received. This second report is used extensively if you decide to receive professional OD career coaching. For now though, let's take a look at the main features of your most preferred career report. You can review this detailed report by clicking on the tabs at the top. You might also consider bookmarking this page as your resources will be updated periodically. As you move through each tab in your specific career calling report, you'll notice a lot of really inspiring features, such as an entire introduction to your career calling, what distinguishes you from others, and what types of books and resources will really get you going as you begin exploring this particular career calling. You'll also be introduced to state-of-the-art knowledge, frameworks and tools, practical career know-how, and ways to boost this specific career calling. We've been very careful about how we curate resources for the 16 different career calling preferences. Here's how we do it. First, if we identify an OD resource online, to determine whether it fits in a specific OD career calling category, we ask several questions. For instance, this resource, titled Systems Thinking for Social Change, a practical guide to solving complex problems, was placed in the Societal Game Changer Career Calling Report. We did this because it met several criteria. We asked, does it pertain to social change? Does it pertain to broad mastery? Is it an innovative application? And would it suit a pure OD identity? In this case, all 4 questions can be answered yes. Another clever feature of each report is a link that will take you to a specific network of like-minded and like-spirited people who share your unique career calling preference. It's in this little social network area that you can share jobs, resources, tools, and tips. By reviewing this interactive report and engaging with the open source OD community, you'll gain significant clarity about your unique fit in the world of OD, and you'll get a great head start in charting a meaningful OD career journey. Thank you for checking out this video. I wish you the very best of luck.